Ladies and gentlemen, population has been a big story in this country, especially over the last couple of years. There is a major shift going on, and that shift must happen in order for us to move into the future. You know, this thing with the low birth rate is never going away. It's never going away, y'all. It doesn't matter what they do. You see all the desperation coming out of Europe, paying people to have babies, giving them a free home, giving them a free car in Asia. And it's not doing anything to boost the birth rate because what we are looking at is goes way beyond what you see on the surface. So this came out on the insider.com, January 11th, 2020. US population growth is the lowest it's been since 1918. Here's why that's terrible news for the economy. Ladies and gentlemen, a picture full of baby boomers, and you know what? They're not going to be here forever, which means the population must shift. It's going to shift no matter what. America's population grew only 0.48. Wow, that's not even 1%. That is horrible. In 2019, according to new census figures released at the end of December, it's a trickle unseen since the end of World War I, 1918. Wow. And the trend carries major economic implications for the nation's long-term future. Yes, it will. Because they're going to have to adjust to everything in America with a smaller population. They're going to have to make the adjustment. And I'm telling you, y'all, they're going to self-implode because they got everything out here so unaffordable, it's not even funny. Three key elements in the population slowdown over the last year included fewer U.S. births, a reduced number of new immigrants, and the overall graying of Americans. The birth rate and immigration have historically driven the nation's changing population dynamics. The census data capped 10 years of sluggish U.S. population growth. In 2010, may enter the record books as the slowest decade in population growth since the first census in 1790, according to the Brookings Institution. And low fertility and an increase in deaths are projected to continue into 2020. The prospects of demographic stagnation is playing a critical role in projections of lower U.S. economic growth over the next decade. Even smaller increases in the number of working age Americans and as baby boomers continue retiring. Going forward, a ballooning number of retirees would rely on a shrinking number of workers to power the economy. Yeah, but how? How? You done blew everything up out here to the point where with a lesser population, you're going to financially collapse. As a result, most analysts expect the economy to grow 2% annually instead of the 3% common in the half century before the Great Recession. Having fewer workers would also mean a drop in the amount of payroll taxes the government collects, severely straining tight finances for programs used to support older Americans like Social Security and Medicare. A report released last year from the Economic Innovation Group, a tech funded think tank, showed that 41% of US counties are expecting population declines, similar to Japan's. Yes, you're going to have a whole sea of empty houses out here, y'all. That's what you're going to have in America. It said that the demographic losses would reverberate through housing markets and municipal finances, prompting a drop in home values and local tax revenue that helps pay for education and infrastructure. The study projected that by 2037, two-thirds of counties will have fewer working age adults compared to 1997, despite the US population bump upward year after year. That trend threatens to throw rural areas into a cycle of decline and make it harder for young people to stick around instead of heading elsewhere for schooling or work, further undercutting the economic futures of those communities. I predict that's going to be the first place in America to collapse, will be the rural areas. That's going to be the first place right there. But the group engineered a possible solution, harnessing the natural pull of immigration. It proposed a heartland visa program that would encourage immigrants to settle in struggling communities, hollowed by workers seeking better opportunities in larger, thriving cities. Don't go there, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to try to utilize those immigrants to take care of all those elderly people. There's always a motive behind these bright ideas, ladies and gentlemen. Always try to find the motive in it. More immigration could help stem slow population growth. It won't. Europe has been trying this forever, and it has never worked. It's not going to work for America either. Trump's restrictive immigration policies are likely linked to a slowdown of new immigrants entering the United States. Last year, the net increase of immigrants dropped to 200,000 people, a 70% decline from the previous year. And ladies and gentlemen, and that's why there are fewer Hispanics born in this country now. There's been a major drop in their birth rate and their growth. And as you can see, 200,000 the entire year, that's it. That's extremely low. So that's a 70% drop. Wow. That doesn't bode well in the short term for the working age population, since immigration is expected to drive most of the increase over the next 15 years to at least 2035. Unlike the birth and death rates through immigration is an issue that lawmakers can do something to encourage. The wild card is immigration. The reason we don't have a declining labor rate is because we've had a strong immigration rate over the last 3 decades, said William Frey, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution who studies demographics. That's a factor. We can do something about it. Yeah, but those immigrants aren't coming anymore because of Trump's policy. Immigrants are also increasingly moving to red states, bolstering their strong labor markets. And they tend to arrive at working ages, meaning they can pay taxes that help keep programs like Social Security alive. And research has shown that they start companies at double the rate of native born Americans. Yeah, so in other words, you like the cheap labor. They like the cheap labor. That's one thing about America. America always wants something for nothing. They want that back-breaking work done for pennies on the dollar. And it's ridiculous. But that's the attitude of the people here. But ladies and gentlemen, Trump caging up those immigrants and separating children from their parents have turned a lot of them off from coming here now. What they're saying may sound good in theory, but the bottom line is you've already discouraged them from being here. And that's not the answer. Europe has been relying on immigration to remedy their low birth rate, and it has not done a thing, because many of these European countries, especially the Eastern European nations, they have work, but the pay is lousy. It's like working in rural America. You're doing all that backbreaking work and getting paid nothing. That's why they can't keep immigrants. Immigrants may stop there briefly, live there for a little while, but they move on because the pay is so lousy in many of those countries. So, ladies and gentlemen, y'all gonna have to tell me what you think about this one. This is not looking good for America, and they don't seem to have a solution for it. You know why? Because there is no solution for what's happening. There really isn't. Yesterday, I did a story on Hungary now giving free IVF treatment to women because they're in a very desperate situation to get those young women pregnant over there. And I'm telling you, it's not going to work. What's happening to them is way deeper than anything physical. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.